Salakia. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Kol halal Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops, the great millstone, even the elders that came before them that taught us its truth. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful the Lord Tabernacle of David. I'm the elder Yahshua. I'm back with the WW3 Daily update. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to you all. This unstable leaders and confused rulers, right? Tucker Carlson is an unstable leader and a confused ruler. Donald Trump, exactly the same. Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi. These people have titles, okay? They're leaders. Tucker Carlson is a leader in the world of media. He's at the top of the world of media. And his ass is completely unstable. He went down to the camp and was instructed by the elders himself. Okay, so let's read this. 2nd Ezra 9:3 in the GNT. It says, there will be earthquakes, national rebellions, international intrigues, unstable leaders, and confused rulers. When you see these things happening, you will know that they are what God Most High has spoken about since the beginning of creation. And we see these things. What we're going to do is we're going to listen. This is the open-minded thinker, and less than an hour ago. Tucker's going to start explaining and giving you an analysis, right, of what's going on today. Oh, we voted for Trump, and Trump got pressured into a war, and he got pressured, and they pushed him into a war that he. What are you talking about? If he did that, if the president of the United States could get pushed into a war by a president of another country, that means that you lost that war. They pressured him into, no, this is all war. And America was taken down by the Israelis, then made as slaves to go out and do the bidding with their military. That's what Tucker's explaining here, that another military force defeated our military by taking down our president, subduing him, and then forcing him to do the will of the other military. That's what's going on. And Tucker is giving that a pass. He's exploding. Well, they pressured him into doing it, and he did it. What? Yeah, that's what militaries do. They pressure you into doing shit, and then you do it. And Tucker's trying to soften that, right? As he does what? As he runs for president. Tucker's running for president. Candace Owens is running for vice president. In your face. Watch them close. They're running for president. Watch. Watch now, and then you'll see Ezekiel 33:33. Then shall you know that a prophet hath been among you, Lord willing. You understand? Because this guy's running for president. He's attacking the president, saying what's wrong. What you're not saying is impeach that dude right now. Get him the fuck up. If you were serious about anything, and this guy just capitulated, he was flipped. America lost that war. What war? Go back to the Gulf of Tonkin. That war. Mr. Fung. That war, Mr. Fung. Okay? Who got hit at the Gulf of Tonkin? Israel fired on the United States and hit them. They covered it up. That war is still going on. Who's winning that war right now? Trump is doing the bidding of Israel. There's a war. You don't even see the war. Okay? who actually won, right? World War II. Israel won World War II. Those people out of Israel, out of World War II came the Balfour Declaration. Those are the winners. They took the land. What are the winners? The winners go what? The spoils. Look at what was the result of World War II? Israel. That was the plan the whole time. Get it? What did they do? They've been controlling America and using America to win wars now, going all the way back. So they won a long time ago. Okay? They won this war a long time ago. Right now, listen to what Tucker's saying. Salakia for being long-winded. Here's why. Let me explain myself. Sirach 5:15. All right, I'm just trying to preface. See, because Tucker's going to be long-winded, just like me, right? But what he's giving it the intellectual spiel while he campaigns for the presidency. Sirach 5:15. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter of smoke. This is not a small matter. Tucker went down to the camp. Now he's campaigning for the presidency. That's how he's talking here. Listen.
Voting for Trump was not a vote for a Republican. It was a vote against the system. Trump became a Republican. He wasn't. But it was really a vote for an option to the two parties, which are similar on the questions, on the big questions that matter, not on trans rights, but on the economy and foreign policy. They're identical. And they're out of sync with what most people want in this country. So the whole idea of Trump was, here you get an option. You can vote for someone who's different from the other two parties, who's effectively a third-party candidate. He's going to take on and reform the system. He's going to drain the swamp. And he was tough enough to do it. I was thinking this morning, I spoke to Trump 2 summers ago in the car. He called me on the way to get arrested, to get fingerprinted and mugshot.
Trump is showing himself to be an absolute buffoon. You're not saying none of that. He's showing himself to be an abominable buffoon. And all white people are attached to him, no matter what.
Taken, and which is a pretty heavy moment in the life of any 78-year-old man. And I said, how are you doing? And he said, I'm great. I said, you're great? You're going to get arrested? You're great? And he goes, I've got no choice, so I'm going to be great. That's a tough man.
Wait a minute. Oh, that's tough. Oh, well, wait a minute. Blacks get arrested. Oh, yeah, you got a record anyway. Wait, but he got a record. But that's a tough man. You're out of your goddamn mind, devil. No, the president, oh, he's a tough man. He's doing a good job. You sound ridiculous. Going back to unstable, right? Unstable leader. And can you confuse if you think that you can run a game on people? We see what's going on. You all got your heads up your fucking ass, right? Thinking that you can talk your way out.
You know, there are moments in history where the fog of war finally lifts and you see the battlefield for what it truly is. We are standing at that precipice right now. Tucker Carlson recently sat down with Mario Nawfal in an interview titled, "They Dragged Trump into Wars. He Promised to Stop."
Tucker Carlson recently sat down and started campaigning for the President of the United States, giving Trump a pass for getting us into whatever the fuck is going on. Right, well, listen to this.
And in it, he didn't just critique foreign policy. He issued an autopsy of the American soul. As the long-awaited peace deal between Tehran and Washington moves from whispers on diplomatic cables to the reality of a memorandum of understanding with
MOW. The MOU. Excuse me. The MOU. Do we have a peace deal? No, we got an MOU. This is hilarious. This devil is in straits, man. Look at Tucker. They're on the back foot to the motherfucker. They try to make up excuses for this clown show that the world is
between
watching.
Tehran and Washington moves from whispers on diplomatic cables to the reality of a memorandum of understanding, with the Strait of Hormuz potentially reopening within days and billions.
A MOU. Listen to that. Oh, we have a MOU. We don't have no deal. We don't have no treaty. Motherfucker, we down to MOU. Deal. We're gonna make a deal. The art of the deal. The art of the deal. Now we're down to the MOU.
Frozen assets set to be released. Carlson argues that the
Oh, you about to give Iran a whole bunch of money like Obama did? Are you about to give Iran pallets of dollars, way more than Obama did? Wait a minute now. Where is that nigger destroyed the country? Where's that at about Trump? That nigger, Trump, destroyed the country. Where's that at? Where's that at?
Has gone rogue. He claims that the entity we were told is our greatest ally has systematically dragged the United States into an endless bloody conflict with Iran.
No, they defeated the United States in war. Okay? I'm coming to fucking the White House, nigga, to tell you exactly what the fuck you're gonna do, because we kicked your ass a long time ago. Okay, we took you down to Epstein Island and whooped your ass. We got your ass under full fucking control.
A war of choice that has offered no strategic benefit to America except the death of countless civilians and the decimation of global stability. Now, with the MOU explicitly sidelining the extremists in Tel Aviv, binding American hands and forcing Washington to choose between a signed deal or a never-ending occupation-driven war.
Do you hear how this is being characterized? No. War is asymmetrical, right? What is World War III? World War III is cyber, it's strategy, it's Lego, it's blackmail on an island, it's Epstein file. This is war. War is epic. Why did Trump just give Iran a whole bunch of money, their money back? Why did the criminal who stole the fucking money, this is Trump, goes around the world stealing people's money and oil and natural resources, why did he just give back? Big bank, take little bank. Why did Trump just give a whole bunch of money to Iran? Trump gives releases Iran money in exchange that they're calling, right? This is what Obama did. Gave them their money that was taken from them. And then they ran with it. You know how the devil, he'll take some shit in your face and run with it and turn it into. Trump touts Iran deal. What deal? What Trump settlement are they talking about? What is this talking about? What did I put? What did I write? I'm talking about money. What? I didn't say nothing about no fucking deal. Is that what you're talking about? The deal you're talking about is giving them their money back? Is that what this deal is talking about? Trump says Iran gave you this is stupid. Is this the deal? What about the money? Okay, now, nothing's coming up. Nothing's coming up, right? Deal, saying deal. What about the money? You understand? We had a problem now. See? See how nothing's being said about some money? So let's double check. See, this is what we do nowadays. Nowadays we go in like this. Did Trump just release confiscated funds, stolen money from back to, let's see if if there's anything in it, because this, whatever chat is going to struggle to say no. And I'm going to make it say yes because it's true. And that's how this thing is programmed. Said, oh, bitch. Long time ago. Or unblocked. Go ahead, keep talking. It says, while negotiations are actively taking place between the United States and Iran regarding a potential MOU, including Iranian claims demanding the release of their money, has officially rejected proving unconditioned cash or early access to block funds prior to, okay, so this is what they're saying. So now I'm going to double down, right? Have they released any money whatsoever to Iran? See? And they're ready because I said it out loud. Get out of here. Has the Trump ad released any funds whatsoever, including don't they give what is it? What do you call it when you give money to a different country? What do you call that? Any monetary. I just asked the same question, Trey. Has the Trump administration related any funds? What's related? Restored. Yeah, in 2016. I think they're being evasive. See, this is what's going on. Okay? Here's what's going on to make it plain. All right? What is this? He already agreed to release it. It says Trump accepted the release of 24 billion in frozen Iranian assets. This guy says, why would he say that? Okay, he said that because it happened. Why did Trump do that? Because Trump is hiding. Okay, let me ask it a question that's going to go outside of their jurisdiction. Payoff. Trump pays off. Trump pays off Iran with hush money for EP Here they come. Not that. 2 months. About a day or so ago. Yeah, they wouldn't have this up. This is what happened. And they got what's the name programmed, right, to stay away from what happened the other day. Woo, traitor. See? They call him dude a traitor. Trump panics as NYT published leaked Epstein cover-up conversations. That's about the nipples. DOJ. Yeah, this was talk about a few days ago. Backs off. Yeah, he backed off because they threatened him with showing him with them girls, and he changed up real quick because he's being pushed to and fro. Will I control the Epstein narrative if White House has nothing to hide? Epstein bombshell.
Yesterday's reporting in the New York Times we find to be a bombshell as it relates to information around the Epstein case. For the very first time, we have the Vice President of the United States, who we now know has been involved in directing strategy on this massive cover-up from the Situation Room. The top administration officials, the Vice President, the White House Chief of Staff, the Director of the FBI, the Attorney General, top communications staff are sitting around the Situation Room planning strategy on how to cover up the Epstein files.
Including sending money to the Iranians when they say, we're about to show this shit on national television. Well, here's some money, nigga. We're going to give you your money back.
Talking strategy on how to ensure that Donald Trump is not accused of anything, that his name does not appear. They're talking strategy on how to possibly get Ghislaine Maxwell a pardon or what that would look like. They're actually the Vice President suggested that Tucker Carlson should interview Ghislaine Maxwell to exonerate Donald Trump.
If you didn't understand
Tucker? You gonna get Tucker to do it?
priorities of the Trump regime were before now, well, guess what? Now you do. It is to protect Donald Trump at all costs.
Cost is money. Give the Iranians some money for the films that they were able to download because they went
from
hacking.
His own potential involvement in one of the most heinous crimes and one of the worst criminals
Yesterday's reporting in the New York Times we find to be a bombshell.
Slovakia. Iran. If you put the right words in here, it's going to come up. Iran hacks the internet. Holds Trump hostage. Files. What we got? Iran's Handala target FBI, Cash Patel, Trump hidden Epstein hidden images and files stolen, going back 2 months. So Trump says deal with Iran. See, if they got this information, right, they're holding it over this dude's head. See the trail you could go back and find? Could be signed this week. Oh, don't release them files. Trump says the war is there. Why does he keep saying that? Deal or no deal? Panics. Here we go. What hack? The hack is, see, they're saying, oh, it's about he likes nipples. No, the hack is about Iran. See? Iran group claims they hacked into Cash Patel. We hacked the FBI. Who did they say was hiding? They walked in. The last dude was saying Pam Bondi was hiding. Bongina was hiding this information. Patel was hiding. That's the FBI hiding. Slovakia. Let's get this real quick. 2 months ago, one India. So this is very important. He was threatened with this. Okay? This is the war that nobody's talking about. This guy is a prisoner of war. Trump is. That's what Tucker is saying. Trump is a prisoner of war. He can't do anything. He's a lame duck. We're going to let him slide. We're not going to impeach him or anything.
A new front in the U.S.-Iran conflict is now unfolding, not on the battlefield.
Listen close to what they're saying. Okay? It's not on the battlefield. It is on the battlefield because this is the battle. Battlefield is everywhere. All right? The battle what? The field is the world. Right? What is the field? The field is the world. So the battlefield is now the world. Okay?
But in cyberspace. An Iran-linked hacker group is now...
Okay, so this is the war. Understand. Israel won, already defeated Babylon. Through this. Now,
a new front.
Iran is coming to get some of this fight in this war. You could come and take America down through Epstein. That's a war. That's a battlefront. Understand that. Listen to what she says.
A new front in the U.S.-Iran conflict is now unfolding, not on the battlefield, but in cyberspace. An Iran-linked hacker group is now claiming it has targeted FBI Director Cash Patel. This comes just days after a major crackdown by the U.S. Department of Justice on a shadowy cyber network known as Handala. And what happens next could signal a dangerous escalation. So, who exactly is Handala? Handala is not just a random hacker collective.
Fair use. I don't know nothing about any of this. We're just doing this together. Fair use, we're not getting paid. This is for instructional and educational purposes only.
U.S. authorities say it is directly linked to Iran's Ministry of Intelligence and Security, a key arm of Iran's intelligence apparatus. In simple terms, this is state-backed cyber warfare.
This is the war. Part of the war is we're gonna let go of the. We got you on film, nigga, with these children.
As hacktivism. The group emerged publicly in 2023, branding itself as pro-Palestinian, but cybersecurity experts say its operations go back even further
to the Mossad Watch.
Multiple aliases, and its tactics are aggressive, from hacking and leaking personal data to deploying destructive malware to publicly doxing targets and issuing threats. Their primary focus? Israel, and increasingly the United States. Now to the latest flashpoint. On March 19, U.S. authorities seized multiple domains used by Handala to leak stolen data and spread propaganda. At the same time, Washington announced a reward of up to $10 million for information on foreign hackers targeting U.S. infrastructure. And then came the response. Handala claimed it had breached FBI Director Kash Patel, posting photos and personal details online, calling it retaliation. But here's the key detail. So far, this appears to be a doxing-style claim, not a confirmed breach of FBI systems. This is part of a broader pattern. Handala has previously targeted Israeli officials, military personnel, and even nuclear scientists, releasing names, data, and threats as part of psychological operations. The goal is not just espionage, but intimidation and influence. As tensions rise after...
Who's that? That's Amalek. That's his signature.
2026 U.S.-Iran escalation, this shadow cyber war is only intensifying. The question now is, how far will these digital attacks go before they trigger real-world consequences?
If Iran just pops up and says, hey, we got this film of you, Donald Trump, you better do that, send some money. Who's doing that? Amalek is doing that. Of course, they got the films. Why wouldn't India or Iran have them? Right? Is that it? Okay, they went into it a little bit. So what they're saying is if Kash Patel got hacked, they have all of the Epstein files, is what they're saying. This is what this is saying. Let's go back, look at it real close, real quick, because they're insinuating that. Let's see. It says Trump Epstein key information stolen from Kash.
A new front in the U.S.-Iran conflict is now unfolding, not on the battlefield, but in cyberspace. An Iran-linked hacker group is now claiming it has targeted FBI Director Kash Patel. This comes just days after a major crackdown by the U.S. Department of Justice on a shadowy cyber network.
Not once in this thing does it say that they got some stuff on Trump. That's weird. Right? They wrote it in, they typed it in, but they didn't say that. That's not what this piece is about. This piece is about Handala. This isn't about what Iran has on Trump. This is about Handala and whatever that company is doing, which it smells like that company goes back to Amalek, not this guy, Elam, right? That ain't Elam. That reeks of Amalek. Anyway, let's go back to this devil here. This guy is giving a cover to Donald Trump, the clown. Look at the condition Babylon is in, right? If Netanyahu could ragdoll Trump the way Cesariak got ragdolled by Elder Sarnetta, there's a whole ragdolling.
Carlson's warning feels less like a conspiracy theory and more like a weather report. Before we unravel the jaw-dropping details of this interview and the text of the peace deal that has the occupation screaming in panic, I need you to do something for me. Hit that like button, share this video with every patriot who is tired of watching their tax dollars fund foreign wars with no exit strategy, and drop a comment, even if it's just a dot, to push this truth through the algorithm. Subscribe to this channel if you believe in honest journalism over state propaganda, because what I'm about to break down, the mainstream press is too terrified to touch. We have a lot to get through, and I promise you, by the time we finish, you'll see the war in West Asia with completely fresh eyes. The central thesis of Tucker's argument in the Mario Nawfal interview is brutal in its simplicity. The tail has been wagging the dog until the dog collapsed from exhaustion. Tucker didn't mince words about Donald Trump. He looked back at the 2024 campaign, where Trump promised a crowd in Michigan, "I will end wars, I will not start new ones," and asked a simple question: what happened? Tucker's answer is that Trump was systematically pressured, manipulated, and ultimately broken by the occupation's lobbying machine in Washington.
Huh?
According to Tucker...
What? No, he lost the war. Right? Big bank take little bank. Okay. Trump got shut down. Him and his constituents made to do what the big bank wanted him to do. How? Nigga, we got them films. Okay? This dude is scrambling, trying to save face. Did all that shit talking. This nigga's spending money on putting Jake in prison for the rest of their lives, and they didn't do shit.
Trump actually understood on an intellectual level that a war with Iran was destructive to the U.S. and the world. He knew it would wreck his presidency and blow up the global economy. But he wasn't strong enough to resist.
That sounds stupid. He knew these things. Unstable leaders and confused rulers. Oh, he knew these things. He knew he was going to look like a goddamn fool. But what? What are you explaining away here? He did these things. Why?
Coordinated onslaught of demands from donors, media personalities, and the Prime Minister himself. Tucker claimed that the occupation Prime Minister quite simply pushed an American president, who turned out to be far weaker than Tucker had understood, into a war that hurts the United States. And here is where Tucker draws his hardest line. He believes that the occupation has crossed every conceivable red line. He points to the USS Liberty incident, the decades of espionage against the U.S., and the current absolute refusal to abide by ceasefire terms. Tucker's...
Hear that? Tucker said, we lost the war right there. We've been getting our ass kicked by Israel now for years. This is what Tucker just said without saying it. Just to bring that up, right? What was that? Why did he show that? Why did he say that? Because, see, people don't understand this. Israel, the state of Israel, Netanyahu and them, right, shot and attacked a U.S. Navy ship during wartime. And they covered it up. Tucker is pointing to it and saying, this right here, we're at war with these people. That's what Tucker said. We're at war with Israel. They took us down. That's what is being said. If you can understand, if you can read between these lines, Tucker's saying, we were taken down by Israel.
He knew it would wreck his presidency
No,
and blow up the global economy.
no, you don't know these things and then do them. Okay, there's something above that. Demons and demonic activity, and you on a goddamn you eating something, motherfucker. And they got you. You eating something.
Occupation's lobbying machine in
They
Washington.
got you with that fucking camel. They got you, right? And you're scrambling, right, to not let it come in.
According to Tucker, Trump actually understood on an intellectual level that a war with Iran was destructive to the U.S. and the world. He knew it would wreck his presidency and blow up the global economy. But he wasn't strong enough to resist the coordinated onslaught of demands from donors, media personalities, and the prime minister.
This is what Tucker said. This is Tucker's excuse for whatever they call Trump doing. All the racism, all the locking people at the genocide, the concentration camp. Oh, he's just
himself. Tucker claimed that the occupation prime minister quite simply pushed an American.
The occupation prime minister is over here occupying Babylon and is making. Who's putting people in cages right now? Who is ICE? ICE is the IDF. ICE, IDF. Change one letter, and what do you got? C and D. ICE, right? IDF. What comes after C? D. Right? Comes after E. F. What is the IDF? The IDF trained ICE. The IDF is down there on the street of America, of Babylon. The IDF is down there doing what? What they were accused of doing. What they said that happened to them. Okay? What happened in Nazi Germany? They're doing it right here with ICEIDF. Right now. Who's that? Well, they took over America. They took America down. Go back and look at that ship out there.
President, who turned out to be far weaker than Tucker had understood, into a war that hurts the United States. And here's where Tucker draws his hardest line. He believes that the occupation has crossed every conceivable red line. He points to the USS Liberty incident, the decades of
What happened right there? What's the USS Liberty? Well, that's when they fired on us because we're at war with each other, and they're keeping it a secret. And if you don't kill them niggers over there, we're going to come over there and do it ourselves. Send your police over here so we can train them on the open air training field called Gaza, where here's how you police niggers. We're going to train right here on these guys. We're going straight to Babylon and open up ICE detention centers and start killing these niggas just like this because our time is short. That's the battle and the war that you're in right now. Tucker's covered. If they're serious about this dude doing all of that shit, get that dude out of office. Patriot. Impeach that dude immediately. Have him. What is a treason? What is the punishment for treason? The fuck are you talking about, clowns?
Against the U.S. and the current absolute refusal to abide by ceasefire terms. Tucker's position is that the United States no longer has an overriding strategic interest in the occupation.
That's a tough man who can say something like that. Like, he is, in some ways Trump is frivolous and narcissistic and silly and absurd, really. But in other ways, and I've seen...
But we're going to give him a pass. Here it is. This nigga's got the political football. What is it? The football, right? Where you got the fucking button where the coordinates to blow shit up. Doesn't he have the nuclear football? The political football. Trump has the nuclear football, and you're giving him a pat. He's showing that this motherfucker is completely off of his fucking rocker and can be manipulated. If do you think he pushed that button? A nigga, we finna release some of the worst shit. I think you should drop a nuke. Can he be coerced? It appears as though he can.
It's to the USS Liberty incident, the decades of espionage against the U.S., and the current absolute refusal to abide by ceasefire terms. Tucker's position is that the United States no longer has an overriding strategic interest in the occupation.
That's a tough man who can say something like that. Like, he is, you know, in some ways, Trump is frivolous and narcissistic and silly and absurd, really.
If Barack Obama did any of the things that Trump is doing right now, like getting us into this war, like whatever the fuck is going on the White House lawn, any of that, okay? What would they be saying if Obama had chicken and watermelon on the fucking White House lawn and invited every nigga? What would that, isn't that what he was supposed to do? But that's what Trump is doing. MMA and monster truck rallies and hillbillies. They're coming up on what? The gladiators and locking niggas in the cage and throwing lions in there. That's coming. All right? This motherfucker's a muck.
But in other ways, and I've seen them, personally seen them, he is a strong person.
He's a strong
And
man.
I think everyone who voted for him sensed that and believed that he was strong enough to take on and not tear down the system necessarily, but move it in the direction of what the majority of the public wanted. And the fact that he wound up joining the system and becoming, in effect, identical to, I don't know, pick someone, Chuck Schumer, you know, identical on the big questions, the economy and foreign policy, is so shocking. It's more than a betrayal. It's actually a sign that the system can't be reformed.
You see how Tucker's talking? Very succinct and to the point. He's talking about politics. He's going to get this motherfucker out of here before the world is destroyed. He's campaigning for office is what he's doing. And he's going to do that damn near straight through this whole, what is this, half hour, right? So go back and watch this as he does that, because what he's doing in a clandestine way, he's saying,
this almost feels illegal to
telling you what happened to Babylon and what he's going to try to do to fix it, right? As though we're even going to get that far. This thing is spiral the fuck out of control.
On additional time and diplomatic space. But more than that, the text exposes the utter diplomatic failure of the occupation's strategy. The extremists wanted the U.S. to commit to the Libyan model for Iran-complete nuclear surrender. Instead, the U.S. signed a document where Iran doesn't give up an ounce of its nuclear rights. The extremists wanted Iran's missile program to be destroyed. The memorandum explicitly removes ballistic missiles from the core bargain. The occupation wanted the Lebanese resistance to be disarmed. The U.S. agreed to compel the occupation to stop bombing Beirut. Every single war goal that was used to justify the killing of thousands of civilians has been thrown into the trash bin of history by this memorandum.
Why even talk about a memorandum? Okay. First of all, it holds zero weight. These devils are not going to stop doing what they're doing, no matter what. Right? They're not going to stop. Okay, they can't. Most High ain't going to let them. Right? We already know that. So what is an MOU? That is as funny at its...
This is why Tucker Carlson believes the occupation has crossed all red lines.
And he's
they dragged America into a slaughter for absolutely nothing.
What do you mean they drag? Who allowed them to drag America? No, you got your ass kicked in war. We didn't make a deal. No, they got you to surrender. What happened? You surrendered because you lost the war, not the battle. You're fighting for somebody else. What does that mean? You're a slave.
There is a line in the memorandum that, if you read it carefully, explains the entire future trajectory of this conflict. The Iranian media reports that the U.S. will commit to compelling the occupation to end hostilities in Lebanon. Think about the choice of words there. Compelling. The U.S. has officially acknowledged that its ally is the aggressor who needs to be stopped. This is the furthest the Overton window has ever shifted. For the first time, the U.S. is putting in writing that the occupation's military actions are a barrier to peace. When Tucker says that the occupation has definitely lost its morality and treats Arabs like animals.
What is this for them to say anything? This is a scheme. Another scheme. Okay, we'll say this. We'll act like we're going to do this. We'll put it in writing. And the moment of the peace and safety, the moment they believe the MOU, and we do what we've been doing, until we can do it again, until we have to do it again, right? Let's get that, because this is what it means. This is what this means in the spirit. 1 Timothy. Peace and safety. First it's a lot. 1 Thessalonians 5:3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child. Let me read it here. First Thessalonians 5:3 in the NLT. When people are saying everything is peaceful and secure, that's what Netanyahu. See, hey, let them MOU. Let's use MOU. Let's use MOU. And when everybody agrees, that we'll hit them hard from behind. That's what this says right here. When everybody agrees, right? Then we hit them from behind. First Thessalonians 5:3 in the NLT. When people are saying everything is peaceful and secure, then disaster will fall on them suddenly as a pregnant woman's labor pains begin, and there will be no escape.
Or subhumans, he is essentially reading from the same script as the Iranian diplomats who demand that the occupation withdraw from Lebanese territory. Tucker's position on the war on Iran has been consistent. It was a war of choice based on lies. He has repeatedly pointed out that the occupation's leadership are corrupt extremists who need a war to stay out of.
America lost the war. Understand this. America lost the war. America lost Israel's war. Israel pushed America into the war. Israel lost the war through America. America and Israel lost the war. Until what? Until they bring out these nukes. What you see going on right now, and Tucker is trying to explain, he got pushed in, and here's what they're not saying. Babylon and Israel got their ass kicked and handed. The only way that they can change any of that is through nukes. What do you think is coming next?
And now, with the MOU exposing the occupation as a diplomatic liability rather than an asset, Tucker's argument that the U.S. should detach from the occupation sounds less like heresy and more like a strategic imperative.
Sounds like I'm running for president, even though the least of the flock is going to draw. Trump out, the least of the flock is going to draw. Tucker out, it doesn't matter who sits in that chair. The least of the flock is going to draw your ass.
Next is terrifyingly predictable. The Memorandum of Understanding will likely be signed within days because the occupation will feel betrayed. They will look at the text, see that their nuclear and missile demands were not met, and realize that they have lost the ability to dictate American foreign policy.
Which of the occupation? It's not what the scripture says. The scripture says the least of the flock shall draw them. All they got to do is lob a nuke over there, right? And then it becomes nuclear what Iran is going to say, well, we're not going to fire this nuke at Babylon. We're only going to hit Iran. No, no. That's why they call one the big Hashatan and the other one the small Hashatan.
This is when they get dangerous. Israeli media is already reporting that the occupation is striking Beirut specifically to signal independent security red lines before any formal international accord limits their operational flexibility. In other words, they are trying to sabotage the peace deal before the ink is dry. Tucker Carlson,
peace and safety, then sudden destruction,
warns that the occupation treats the U.S. as an enemy when it suits them. He is not wrong. They tried to sink the USS Liberty. They spy on the Pentagon. And now they are trying to blow up a peace deal that the American president negotiated.
Rest, recover, and...
because you belong to them. Just like Iran has been absorbed into the Russian military, America has been absorbed into the Israeli military.
You get a cash award.
That's what needs to be understood.
Also,
Anyway, that's it for that. I'm going to go ahead and close. Yeah, peace and safety. 1 Thessalonians 5:3. Here's what's going to become of the MOU. All right?
Breaking news, the U.S. and Iran have agreed to the wording of a deal
Of an
aimed at
MOU.
ending the war. This is according to President Trump and Iran.
This is such bullshit. What this is designed to do, all out on the air, it's going to happen in about a week. Yeah, you're going to make as much money as you can on Wall Street for a week. That's why this is so important. 1 Thessalonians 5:3 in the NIV, while people are saying peace and safety, destruction will come on them suddenly as labor pains on a pregnant woman, and they will not escape. With that, we pray that the elect will edify you, brothers and sisters. Shalom.